What is up, everybody? This is this week's best MMA bets for UFC Vegas 39, Dern versus Rodriguez. Smash that like button. Let's get over 105 likes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Some updates real quick we do have to talk about with the card. Cancellation of the Laureano Starpoli Jamie Pickett fight. Lupita Godinez now has a new opponent with Sam Hughes out. It is Silvana Gomez Juarez, who's a tough test for an experienced girl. Serious matchup here, but as far as the best bets, let's jump to it. First, we are going to be talking about the locks of the night, as we always do. I have few of them for you guys. So the first one that I like is kind of an obvious one. I think every guy in the industry is going to be talking Alexander Romanov. Stylistically, it's a good matchup for him. I see him getting a lot of top control, potentially ground and pound TKO or a submission win. But you look at the odds, they're disgusting. Minus 578, plus 472. I think they're too widespread. Vanderaa definitely has a chance if this fight is on the feet. His striking is 100% capable, and he does have the power to knock out Romanov. I don't think this fight will be majority striking. I think it'll be a lot of forward pressure by Romanov for takedowns. I believe he will get on top, control Vanderaa, and eventually get a stoppage win. You look at the prop bets because that's where you're probably going to lean if you're thinking about betting Romanov. Inside the distance, minus 225. It's ugly value. Are you feeling confident in Romanov to win by KO TKO? Or do you prefer that submission? Plus 155. 2 out of his last 3 wins, submissions. Jared Vanderaa is a really big guy, though. He's not bad on the ground, though he has been tapped before. I could see Romanov locking up a sub. I could see him getting a TKO, so that's what would lean you to that inside the distance. But obviously, the value isn't as good at minus 225. If you're feeling confident in picking one, you kind of got to lean submission by what you've seen. I feel like that could be possible, plus 155, but inside the distance, a lot safer route to go. I do think the stoppage happens before the 3rd round. I'm thinking 1st or 2nd. Fight doesn't go to round 3, though. The value, it isn't fantastic. Minus 245. Wouldn't really be worth risking on a bet when there's other fights that you could bet on. But I like Romanov lock inside the distance. Very confident prop bet as well, though. Not the greatest value, but still decent here for a real finisher like Romanov, especially in this stylistic matchup. Now, the next of our locks of the night, I like Chris Gutierrez over Felipe Colares, excuse me. I feel like his striking is going to be on another level here. He'll mix it up, win a dominant decision is really how I'm feeling. Now, the value for him, minus 244 straight. You got to throw something nice at it to bring you that 100 back. It's a strong confidence pick, and it's also a strong favorite on the betting lines. Potential props that maybe you could play if you were feeling confident in Gutierrez by decision. It'll give you plus 105, so decent money there. Fight goes the distance, minus 185. Decent bet. Not my favorite of all the fight goes the distance bet, but a possible one. I'm liking Gutierrez here. I do think he wins a decision. Could bet that win by decision prop if you're feeling that confidence. Straight minus 244 isn't terrible if you're throwing a good chunk at Gutierrez. I like him to win here. Now, the next of our locks of the night, Charlie Ontiveros fights Steve Garcia. I like Garcia here. I think he's a hellish matchup for him, especially the weight drop for Ontiveros concerns me. Minus 301, plus 263. I think Garcia will be a tricky fight. I think striking-wise, he'll be able to outbox him for sure because Ontiveros is a very kick-heavy game. On the ground, I think Garcia has better top control and is able to get off some decent ground and pound and potentially work towards a finish here. I like Steve Garcia. I do think he probably has potential for an inside the distance. That's minus 120. But the value, decent. Betting on a guy with only one UFC fight, short notice that was, not really advised all that much, especially at that minus 300 tag. Ontiveros could definitely knock him out with a kick. Ontiveros to win by KO TKO plus 675. I think that Garcia definitely wins it, but still betting-wise wouldn't be your best option. Simply out of the risk with a guy that doesn't have all that much UFC experience, fighting just a kind of awkward fighter in Charlie Ontiveros. But let's jump over to some potential dogs of the night. I'm really feeling Charles Rosa here to win a hard-fought competitive decision. I like Rosa, Boston guy, scrappy, has won me big money before. He's plus 160 to the minus 172 favorite, Damon Jackson. He's up, down, up, down. If he wins this fight, this will be his first 2-fight win streak in a good amount of time. I think he could do it. I think this fight does go long here, probably goes the distance. Rosa, I believe, winning a decision. Fight goes the distance, minus 150. Rosa, plus 160. If he was to win by decision, Rosa by decision, plus 315. That would be a pretty good value play. I think Rosa decision. That's my pick. I would be potentially throwing something down. Wouldn't go nuts, but I do think it's a decent bet. And if Rosa's straight, if you're also feeling him, I feel he can beat Damon Jackson on a very competitive decision, though I'd understand people's hesitation towards throwing down with Rosa from, some subpar performances where he was really controlled. But I think he can get some momentum really going for him. Now, the next of the dogs of the night, I do have to say, at the top, Marina Rodriguez. I love her as a dog of the night. Plus 152, I think that's a great straight bet. I don't even think you need to prop it up, but if you are looking to prop it up, the odds of her submitting Mackenzie Dern are low. I think that she could get the finish, though, and if she were to get the finish, Rodriguez wins KO TKO, that would be plus 350. Could also end up getting a decision, not if it goes long, plus 405, but I'm thinking more stoppage. I could see Dern starting to get tired towards the third round. I think the striking level of Rodriguez will be too much. If Dern gets her down early enough and is able to advance to some serious positions, dominant positions, not just guard or half guard, I think that could be trouble while they are dry, especially because Dern's jiu-jitsu is fantastic. If you like Dern to win, Dern wins by a submission. That's sitting at plus 100. But I think Rodriguez TKOs are plus 350. I think fight enters round 3. That's minus 105. I do think it could go that distance. I'm liking Marina Rodriguez a lot in this matchup. I think she's going to beat Mackenzie Dern here. It's going to be a hard fight. I definitely think it goes to over 1.5. Highly likely over 2.5 as well. If you like that plus 114 tag, I'm on Marina Rodriguez wins here. Underdog pick. And I do think she could get a TKO third or fourth round. Now, the next of our underdogs of the night that I am liking here, I'm feeling like Tim Elliott is being slept on. Plus 174, minus 194. Nicolau has not proven enough to be this big of a favorite against a guy known for giving people trouble in Tim Elliott. Good fighters trouble. Tim Elliott's a tricky matchup for anybody in the world. He's had a couple moments where he's really got quickly beaten, but rarely. I believe it was against Ben Wynn. He got quickly tapped out. That's a rare feat. Usually Elliott is extremely durable, goes long. I believe he'll go long here. We'll make it a grueling 3-round fight. Fight goes the distance, minus 190. Very confident. I believe that probably will happen. For Elliott, wins by a decision. Plus money would be around plus 300 for that. But as a straight underdog, it'd be plus 174 if he somehow got a finish. But that's not super likely. Elliott's a decision guy. He tends to go the decision most of the time. Nicolau, the last one, he did go the distance. I like Tim Elliott, underdog, plus 174. I think he beats Matheus Nicolau in this fight here. Now, the next of our dogs, I would say, is the least confident of dogs. It's going to be women's MMA. It's going to be Mariah Agapova, plus 158. Sabina Mazo, minus 165. You have to be cautious with her, though. Showed a little bit of low fight IQ in the last one, kind of just blowing her wad, going nuts. I think Mazo could be patient and then get a victory over Agapova. Betting-wise, I wouldn't be advising you to throw much at it, but I do like Agapova's chances here, so I have to ride with her as one of the dogs of the night. If she was to win inside the distance, plus 435. Mazo, extremely hard to finish. Something that concerns me, if Agapova can be patient, plus 325 wins by decision. If she has in her mind she's going to be technical out there, I think that she could have the superior striking, good enough grappling defense, and I think she could beat Mazo by a decision in a hard fight here. I like Agapova, plus 158. Not my favorite of the underdogs, but it is an underdog that I do believe has some likelihood of coming through, and I am picking her to win the fight. Now, some value style bets, if maybe you want to just throw down at some over-unders, I think Hawes versus Duran win is a decent over-under. If you go over a round and a half, that's sitting at minus 185 best value. I think that's pretty damn likely. I think that would be a decent bet. The likelihood of it going the distance is there, plus 125. Do I see Hawes putting Win in a submission? Not super likely. I could see him knocking him out, but it's not like Win has showed any durability deficiencies throughout his career. I like over 1.5, minus 185. Phil Hawes, if he goes out there like an absolute savage, starches him early, I'd be super impressed. I just don't think it's all that likely. Hawes to win by TKO, though, is also plus 140, but I think fight over 1.5. Phil Hawes should get the win, but Duran win is going to be a tough fight. And if it starts going Duran win's way, definitely think it goes the distance without a doubt. I don't think he gets the finish of Phil Hawes. Now, another of the potential plays that you could do would be the fight between Ontiveros and Garcia. If you like round betting a bit or, the over-unders, I mean, I don't think it's terrible to say under 2.5 here at minus 130, but I don't love it. I like the Hawes one much more, but it is an option there if you're looking to add some things to your plays this week. Another one could be Gooden Brown. I am leaning Randy Brown to win the fight. I do think we might go long here, but Gooden does have some serious knockout power. If you're maybe looking for a stretch prop, plus 400, Gooden by KO, TKO. He definitely has the ability to sleep Brown. I think Brown could have the technical grappling skill to get a submission. That's plus 400 as well. I like Brown here. He's a pretty strong favorite. Wasn't one of the absolute locks, but I do think he could get a win. It's just there are some serious tools as far as knockout power. Jared Gooden definitely brings that to the table. He's a tricky matchup, physically strong guy. Should be a hard fight. I'm liking this card as far as betting goes. I definitely think there's going to be some money to be made. I do want to jump over to parlays because I want to give you guys some potential options that I am thinking. So the first that I like, and I would say this would be the $1,000 parlay of the week, is if you give me Marina Rodriguez and Chris Gutierrez. If you're not on Marina, you like Dern, then obviously you wouldn't like this parlay. And it would be understandable if you would be on the opposite side, though I see path to victory for Rodriguez. We'll find out on fight night. Gutierrez minus 265, so that's plus 228. Am I looking to add in another fighter? Well, right when you look at it, you say, oh, I'd add in Lupita. She's fighting a short notice girl. Silvana is going to be ready to fight. She was supposed to be fighting this coming Tuesday. Solid pretty much everywhere, well-rounded skill set. I'm going to skip on that one because I think Godinez is in a real fight there. As far as other guys that I would consider to be potentially worth a play outside of them, even if you go with Romanov, the value just isn't great there. It's plus 282, which is mainly the thing that's keeping me off of him would be the value isn't fantastic. Maybe you go, if your bookie allows, a fight goes the distance with Elliott and Nicolau, that would give you plus 377 back. That would be a quality play. It just depends because I know some of the bookie sites are not going to be allowing you to parlay that up. Phil Hawes, Duran win. Again, if it allows over 1.5 plus 405, that would be a fantastic play. Is there any straight fighter bet that I would do? Honestly, it's got to be Romanov. Just to keep it 100, though, the value just doesn't jump out at the page to me, doesn't make me want to do it. Could potentially add in Hawes, even though it's a tough test. And a big favorite to me wouldn't be worth it to lose it all. That's why I much more would advise Rodriguez Gutierrez there. Randy Brown could pull it off too, plus 370 if you added him. Or you want another dog, throw Tim Elliott, plus 779. If you're looking for more of a Hail Mary, a play that has two underdogs in it, you got Gutierrez, Rodriguez, Elliott. That could come through. That's plus 779. That's some great value back at you. Overall, good fights, solid card, I would say. Not the most name value stacked, but money to be made for sure. Entertaining battles. I like this plus 228 play a lot. Gutierrez, Rodriguez. Much love to everybody that tunes into the show. If you haven't yet, smash that like button. As I said, we need at least 105 likes. I'd like to see even more. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Another episode of this week's best MMA bets in the books. Much love. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next video.